Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of most ages, because models could be a choking hazard.
Also, some of the lore is very inappropriate for children.
Fair, fair. Welcome to Tim's Nation and the first battle report of 10th edition. I'm DJ, joined here with Lane, and we will be bringing you our very, very first Warhammer 40k battle report of 10th edition. And I'm sure this will be absolutely perfect. We will make no mistakes, and every single rule is going to be exactly right.
You said the first battle report. This is the first game either of us is playing. So so
That's a secret.
Leave comments and tell us where we messed up. I'm sure there'll be like one or two.
Exactly. That was part of the thing we were looking at and thinking about is we were discussing, it was like, should we even record this game or should we just play it? It was like, you know what? No. Not only is it us looking back through the rules, we need to see what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. So we'll try and fill you in, guys, as much as we can. Probably not going to focus as much on the dice rolls for things this game.
Yeah. Focusing
more on the rules, and we'll talk through things that we did and certain strats and certain techniques that we've seen and everything that's happening and how we're playing the game. And this one is going to be relatively simple for how we're doing this because, well, we don't have the cards yet. And yes, we could print them out offline and do all that stuff. But then that's more of a layer. That is another layer to this game that we'll take it on in time. We take it very seriously. We take that the cards, the missions, and all that stuff very seriously as another layer. But right now, we don't even know what our armies can do.
Yeah.
So the first thing we're going to do is figure that out. So this mission is going to be only war, which is the mission in the back of the book. And the only scoring is going to be whoever holds an objective in their command phase is going to be 1 point. So it's going to be a very, very simple scored game.
I think it'll be our lowest scoring game ever for either of us.
Amen.
Whoever gets 8 points will win or something like that.
Right. But it's going to be more of a showcase of what these armies can do. Both our armies that we are considering competitively, Necrons being mine, DeathWatch being Lane's. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. And as I've just introduced the armies, Lane, you got any little feedback going into this? You're excited, obviously. I'm excited to start playing 10th edition.
Yeah, I think one of the big things one of the major changes that instead of having 3, 4, 5 pages of stratagems for your army, it seems like each unit gets a special rule. And some of those are kind of common sense. Like, hey, Space Marine infiltrators still block out 12-inch deep strike deny bubble.
Right.
But some of them are crazy off the wall. Like, why does a Contemptor Dreadnought just get back up after he dies on a 2-up?
Exactly.
There's a lot of rules that we weren't expecting. So every unit has some special things. That's kind of what we're going to be learning now is how these special rules work for each of the units and how they interact.
Timings on different rules are going to be very important as well when they trigger and how they are affected. And I think it's going to be one of those moments also, too, within the game where we use an ability and you go, okay, I do this, and then I do this, and then the gears start going and the ball starts rolling. You go, oh, that's how this works. So there's going to be some of those awe-inspiring eureka moments, hopefully, within this. We'll talk about those as we go. But before we get into that, we got 2 things we need to do. Number 1, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do turn on the bell for notifications. Get notified on more videos such as this one, including all the other commentary that we will bring you, featuring these armies, featuring other armies, featuring the armies we want to play against, beat people up with. And secondly, what are we bringing? Lane, let's get over to our armies and talk about them.
Let's take a look. All right, guys, so this is my first 10th edition DeathWatch list. We'll see how it does today. I'm not going to go through the special rules for every single unit. We have separate army list videos you can check out where we go into a little bit more detail, but just kind of go through these quickly. First off, I have 2 Proteus kill teams. These are firstborn kill teams. Each of mine has 4 heavy weapon DeathWatch veterans. One squad is 4 Infernus heavy bolters. The other is 4 frag cannons. In addition to that, there are 4 Terminators in each squad. 3 of them will be Stormbolter and Cyclone missile launchers, and 1 will just be Thunderhammer Storm Shield. Now, in addition to that, we have a bike in each squad. That means with the 4 Terminators and the 1 bike, each squad will have a toughness of 5 because equal or a majority of the models in the unit are T5. Now, in addition, most everything here is WYSIWYG. The only thing you might notice is that there is a Terminator Chaplain hiding in one of these kill teams. He is just being used today as a Terminator with a Cyclone on him. I wasn't going to glue a Cyclone on him because he is a pretty good paint job. I don't want to mess it up. And then the last model in each of these kill teams is just a DeathWatch veteran with the DeathWatch Thunder Hammer. This is that extra strong Thunder Hammer. It's extra strong because it's two-handed, so these guys don't have any ranged weapons or anything. Just one big old hammer to swing. Next, we've got two characters in the Proteus kill teams. One will have a DeathWatch captain. No, I'm sorry, just a regular captain. He's got a Thunder Hammer and I guess a Storm Bolter, or a ranged long vigil weapon, or whatever it is he can carry. The model has a jump pack on it. He doesn't actually have a jump pack in real life, so we're not using the jump pack rules for the captain. That's just the model I had. And then the other, so his special rules allow him to do a stratagem on his unit for 0 CP, even a strat that's been used already. And he's extra fighty once per game in close combat. The other Proteus kill team has the Watchmaster with him. He's got some juicy rules. He, first of all, lets his unit shoot and charge after they advanced or after they fell back. So that makes his unit very versatile and very tactical. In addition to that, once per game, I choose a stratagem that my opponent has used. After they use it, then for the rest of the game, it costs an extra CP. So pretty strong there. He is actually going to have the one enhancement I have in the army. That is the Tome of Hectoclades. This is a spicy enhancement. Basically, you know, Space Marines have their Oath of Moment. Well, once per game, I can pick a second Oath of Moment target in my command phase, so I can actually have 2 Oath of Moment targets active for an entire battle round. Next squad we've got is this big chunky squad of bikes. I've got 6 of the Outriders. They are accompanied by 1 chaplain on bike and an ATV, just making this a big, heavy unit. It's going to go out there and take objectives, I hope. Next, we've got a 10-man brick of Desolators. They are accompanied by a Librarian. The Librarian is going to give them a 4-up Feel No Pain to psychic attacks. Will not be relevant in this game, but they also gives them a 4-up Invuln to all attacks. So just trying to make these guys a little more durable. Next, I've got a 5-man squad of Space Marine Scouts. These are the Sniper Scouts. There's 4 sniper rifles plus a missile launcher in there. Their special rule is basically you cannot shoot them unless you're within 12 inches of them. So hopefully I'll hide them on an objective, or maybe because they can infiltrate, like get on an early objective. We'll see. Next, 2 Whirlwinds. Kind of unique models here. One of them is the Forge World Scorpius Whirlwind. Can't take the Forge World version anymore, so he's just a regular Whirlwind all dressed up. And the other has a third-party missile launcher on top of it. He's extra tall. He's a nice tall boy. His missiles are lined up vertically for some reason. And finally, I've got 1 Space Marine land speeder. Sorry, guys, it's primed black. That's as far as I got with him so far. He has a special rule where basically anytime he, at the end of his movement phase, or I'm sorry, during his shooting phase, he can pick something he can see. Doesn't even have to shoot at it. Just picks one unit he can see. And all the blast weapons in my army, which are really the indirect whirlwinds and the indirect profile on the Desolators, they will not take the penalties for shooting indirectly. So their target will not get the benefit of cover, and then they get +1 to their hit rolls. So it just makes that indirect fire even more powerful. That's it. That's the list, guys. Let's see what DH got.
All right, here we go. My Necron dynasty, which doesn't exist, is going to be the dynasty of Thanos. And you'll understand in about 30 seconds, maybe 2 minutes. See how long it takes. So what we're doing with this is we're splashing a whole bunch of stuff in here. And unlike Lane, I have a lot more of the unpainted models because I wanted to bring the fancies and the funs. I'm making progress, much like Lane is, making progress on getting this stuff cleaned up, ready to go. All right, so what do we got here? We got to start off with the 10 Lich Guard. The 10 Lich Guard are going to be joined by an Overlord, 2 Crypt Balls, and a Technomancer. So they will be a -1 to wound, 4-up Invuln, 3-up save, with a 5-up Feel No Pain, as well as the Crypt Thrall's Fundness. The Overlord has a Resorb, so it'll be fun to kind of be able to hopefully pop these guys up and make them nigh unkillable. Moving over into my Scorpack Destroyers, I'm going to be running 2 6-man squads of Scorpack Destroyers with 2 Plasma Sights, also led by a Locust Lord. I like these guys. I know that people have said they've gotten significantly weaker, so I want to give them a try out and see what they do before I put them on the shelf for something else, or maybe they'll surprise me. Scorpack Lords, I love these guys. They're a little bit tankier than some characters, so hopefully they'll do the trick. Next up is my Scarabs. I'm running a 6-man and a 3-man Scarab squad. These guys, when they're in combat, will reduce your objective control value by 1, And with one of my other buddies, I possibly can give them an objective control of 1 because they start at 0. These are cool little fast guys to hopefully get out there and just mess with the objective control game and just be a little bit of a forward front speed. And speaking of which, the guy that's going to give the bonuses and the buffs is going to be my Catacomb Command Barge. He is going to have the enhancement of the Centrifugal Weave, so we'll be having the 4-up, Feel No Pain. And then he's probably going to be traveling near the Scorpex, so I have a Res Orb to be able to hit them with during the command phase, as well as the increase to objective control value. Over to the Canoptic Reanimator. Canoptic Reanimator is, he's good now. He's very good. 12-inch range aura that gives me an additional D3 whenever I reanimate, and a 4-up Feel No Pain to hopefully keep him alive longer. Next up is my Hexmark Destroyer. The Hexmark Destroyer is going to have the Sovereign enhancement, so he will be able to count other units within 6 of him as having a character, Doomstalkers, and other things that don't. So they can get the command protocol buff as well as the second part of my stratagems that require having a character in the unit. Moving over to my Canoptic Spider. So I have one Spider. The Spider is probably not going to be a lot of value as far as putting Scarabs back in unit. Where most of its value is going to come from is being able to put, to give the Doomstalkers a 6-up Feel No Pain. And, well, originally I didn't think it was going to be useful for it, but since Lane decided to bring a Psyker today, he can give a 4-up Feel No Pain to psychic attacks to units within range of his aura. Then we have the Canoptic Doomstalkers. Now, I know most people are running the Annihilation Barge, being that it has the bigger, better, and meaner gun. I like the Doomstalkers because they're not as long, so they're easier to hide. They're tall, so that they can take advantage of being able to see towering units from basically anywhere on the field. And they're a little bit cheaper than the Doomsday Arcs. Also, I have 3 of them, and I have 0 Doomsday Arcs. It's a really good reason to not run a model if you don't have it. I like these guys. I'm really hoping that they're going to do some damage or not just end up right over to the shelf because they're really cool looking models, real tall, real menacing looking. And last but surely not least is going to be my 5-man squad of Deathmarks. These guys are able to deep strike in with their precision weapons that are 2 damage and maybe find a nice spot to pick off some of Lane's characters. And then if he decides that he wants to deep strike anything in, they can shoot back at them really relatively nicely. All right, so let's get over to the game and look at what we're doing. It's time. It's time. It's game time. Sir, we are doing only war, and this means that it's kind of like a hammer and anvil setup. So everything's set up, and as we already talked about many times before, we'll just simply roll as a coin toss to see who goes first. Or not who goes first, we're not there yet. Who's going to deploy and be the attacker and defender, and where they shall go. So, Mr. Lane, odd or even?
Even.
And that's odd. So I will choose to be the attacker, and we will start deploying. We'll be back after we get these armies deployed. Alrighty, guys, we are deployed. So starting things off over here with the Necrons, basically I hide in buildings, which is the same as old school 9th edition. But there's a couple of things. So one thing is I put the Catacomb Command Barge.
The additions may change, but DJ stays the same.
Exactly. So I put the Catacomb Command Barge real close to the side, so I was able to fly out of there easily since I have to go up and then over to get that out. And then I have the Scorpex ready on both fronts, so wherever Lane decides to play his game from, I'm able to have an assault unit to answer in kind. Lich Guard taking up the middle, Lich Guard being hopefully my Death Star and most durable unit. We'll see how that goes. Now, the Overlord and the Technomancer are actually right under here in this building down here, because if he uses any precision weapons, he has to still see the models that he wants to allocate the attacks to. So by hiding them in the walls, he's not able to allocate those attacks to my characters, at least not on the first turn. Moving them out there, I'll probably have to eventually pull them out, but at least it gives me a little bit of save time since he can just go full-scale precision crazy mode for his entire army. Doomstalkers, that seemed like the best place to put to draw some lanes down this way. I'm drawing lanes, no pun intended. Actually, pun totally intended.
He intended that, guys.
He deals with it all the time. And then we got the Spider back here giving the Feel No Pain. The Canoptic Reanimator, that 12-inch range is huge. He actually is covering everything. The score packs, all the units actually have his buff right now to start it off. And then some scarabs to float around in the back just to make things happen as the game progresses by being able to reduce objective control value later into the game. So that is what we're looking at for the Necrons. Let's get over and see what Lane is doing with his DeathWatch. Lane, talk to me, buddy.
So nothing going into reserves here. It's all on the table.
Oh yeah, that's right. The death marks. I did put my 5 men in deep strike. I forgot to mention that.
Okay, so scout snipers have the infiltrate rule. We'll just try and sneak up on that objective as soon as we can. I don't think they would last very long there, but they would draw out DJ's units to try and take that objective back. I have the Desolators inside this building here. 10-man Desolators with a Librarian, trying to keep them a little extra safe. We've got one Proteus kill team here with the Infernus Heavy Bolters ready to step out and take shots at something they can see. One of the Whirlwinds hiding right here. That big old brick of bikes ready to go forward. Didn't really have a good space to hide them very well, so they're just kind of out in the open. The other Proteus kill team here, Whirlwind, and then the Land Speeder is going to sneak out there and hopefully see something and make the indirect fire a lot stronger.
All right, so real quick, Lane, why don't you talk to us about this, the mission, this only war, because there is only one way we're scoring.
The only way we score, I guess starting in battle round 2, right? That's
Yes.
You get 1 point for each objective you control. That's it.
Same as the old school at the end of the command phase, so
yeah,
that'll be all that effect. All right, so now we have the most, well, I won't say most important dice roll because we're not sure on how much it's going to affect, but it's time. So, Mr. Lane,
it's definitely the first dice roll.
I think both of us
10th edition.
I think both of us kind of want to go first a little bit. I think both of us kind of have that urge of like, I want to play first.
Here we go.
Here we go. Oh, that one doesn't count.
Just through.
3.
All right,
it looks
sir.
like I will be leading the way. And yeah, we will come back after our movement phase. Necrons go first. All right, so we're finishing up the Necron turn here. Not very much because, well, Lane has hidden Zard pretty well, so there's not really much I could do there. So we moved up, did a couple advances. We were able to get the Scorpex out here to tag that objective just a little bit. Don't have a very strong objective control value on it that Lane could easily take it back, but that means he's got to bring guys out there. I had to at least make some sort of play to have him start playing the game. Still control this back objective much like Lane controls his, so we're both going to be trading on those points easily. And then I spread everyone out around the backfield so that nothing can deep strike in to my backside and just hit me and hurt me way, way too much, way more than I would like. So that's it for me. Lane did not have any reactions in my movement phase to shoot anything because I'm not really in his range and stuff like that. So now it only comes down to one last thing that Lane discussed. At the end of my fight phase,
I can spend 1 CP on my Deathwatch Teleportarium strat, where I pick 1 Adeptus to start his unit, or 2 of my kill teams up at the end of my opponent's fight phase, and then they go in reserves and come down in my next movement phase. So I guess that kind of bypasses the no deep strikes on turn 1 because I'm pulling them off the table, I guess, and they're coming back down. But
is
it
that
says
a once
specific
per game, or is that
no?
Ooh, wow. Okay.
Nope.
So you're going to spend your 1 command point that
I
you got.
am. Actually, it won't cost me anything because I'll use it on the captain who has gives me 1 for free.
We'll take a look at that in a second. But which units are you wishing to pick up?
My 2 Proteus kill teams.
Which ones are those? Nice.
These guys. Oh, these guys.
Ones with the Terminators in them?
Yep.
All right. So Lane is going to be picking up these Proteus kill teams right back here. These squads with Terminators, and they're going to be able to deep strike in next turn. So we'll see how hard that damage is going to be and where he's going to place those guys and get back after Lane's movement phase. All right, guys, while Lane is moving, we have our first question that you guys can answer in the comment section on this one. So Lane has, what's the guy that's giving you the 0?
A Space Marine captain.
So he's a Space Marine captain in the kill team, which says that when he targets a unit with a stratagem, it costs 0 CP to use, what ability that many of us have for different armies. So because this stratagem allows him to target up to 2 kill teams to pick them up, put them in reserve, does the stratagem cost 0 since one of them has the captain, or does it cost 1 because he's targeting 2 units? For the sakes of this game, Lane is going to use it at 0 command points, mostly because of, to maximize what the Death Watch can do and other things we can do. But it's a curious thing. If you guys can, we're going to look into it a little more later and see. But it's kind of one of those weird rule interactions that, yes, he's targeting the unit with a stratagem, but he's also targeting this second unit with that strat at the same time. So does he still get it for 0 command points, or does he get it for? Does he have to spend the 1? So let us know in the comment section what you think. And Lane, are you finished up with your movement phase?
I did the moving. I do want to let you know that in my command phase, I chose these score packs as my oath of moment. So those are the guys I hate a whole lot today. And then at the end of my movement, I have to pick something. Well, I don't know if it's the end of the movement or in my shooting phase, but the land speeder is going to have to pick something that he can see. And then the indirect blast weapons will not take a penalty for shooting at that. The blast weapons will ignore cover and get +1 to hit.
And I believe you are 18. You are out of 18 of my hex mark.
Intentionally so.
But I can and will still overwatch you with one of the Doomstalkers.
Do it.
And yeah, that'll be a thing. And then we'll get over into Lane's shooting phase.
Pew, pew, pew. So here's what happened. I put these 2 kill teams in position to shoot score packs. What were there? What are not there now? Because this kill team picked up the 6 score packs. The character was hiding in there, so he has 1 wound left on him. He survived that onslaught of shooting. But because I can't see him now, this kill team has no targets to shoot at. So they didn't get to shoot anything. I didn't line the bikes up to shoot anything yet. The Desolators whiffed. Let me tell you, the difference between shooting an Oath of Moment target and not shooting an Oath of Moment target is huge. I shot into one of those Doomstalkers, and I did 2 wounds with the 10 shots from these guys. So it didn't really do anything. Their indirect fire went into those guys.
Lich
Guard. And I did 1 wound to them, so it wasn't super strong shooting there. I do feel good about picking up the score packs. There's something I don't have to worry about anymore. But didn't really get a lot of work done otherwise. I got the Reanimator down to what? 2 wounds?
Yep.
But that's really about it. So most of that will probably heal and DJ's turn. Do you have any end of my turn shenanigans, DJ?
No, but a couple things real quick. I did spend the command point and try and shoot at them, and I was able to get a little bit of damage from the stalker across there. Wasn't a lot, but now we get to shoot at our regular ballistic skill, so we'll see how this happens.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to move over to the Necron turn and start scoring some points.
Let's go.
Lane made the most accurate comment just now while I was asking him. I said, do you want to Overwatch? He said, no. I said, do you have any other end of movement phase effects? He said, probably. I just don't know what they are. So, finishing this up, neither one of us rapid ingressed. I could have rapid ingressed those death marks in. Instead, I'm just going to deploy them right here and draw some firing lanes downwind and try and see if we can't do some damage to this kill team. Lich Guard are not in a good position to charge, but I do want to get on these objectives. This mission feels like it's going to be, it's either going to end all in the end of the game, or I'm going to need to nickel and dime some points. Lane's got a lot of firepower, much, much more than I do, and I'm just hoping that my resilience can hold out. So we'll see where that goes. So healing-wise, basically everything except for the Score Pack Lord went back to full wounds. And I used the Cryptek to finish off healing the Reanimator. And now going into it, we kind of didn't do too much. Just position myself realistically to go after that objective marker over there and try and get some shots with the Doomstalkers. And actually, Mr. Lane, if you would be a gentleman, I think I'm going to bring this one Doomstalker back and just put all 3 on that kill team. Yeah, I'm going to scoot him back.
Yeah, makes sense. He doesn't always. Yeah.
There's no point in putting one Doomstalker on one target and having the other 2. I want to make sure. So I'm going to move him back a little bit, and then we're going to go over to the shooting phase. So when that Doomstalker's in a different position, you'll know why. All right. So Doomstalkers. Doomstalkers did some work. They beat this Proteus kill team up. So that's going to be the first battle shock test that we're going to have to take in Lane's turn. Uh-oh. And put some wounds. I hit the shielded Terminator over here with the other Doomstalker. After doing the damage that I did, I figured it was time to start picking on them. Lane still has massive force over here hiding in the walls. And I have some answers as well too. But the Doomstalkers were able to do a good amount of work, and the Lich Guard got up on this objective. So now Lane's gonna have to try and remove them and see what he can do over there. And yeah, that was pretty much it for the turn. Not too much. The death marks hit. I mean, they did damage, but it was the Doomstalkers that really did all the work. Their 3 damage, the AP, and how many shots they got, especially since they were 10-man squads, was really able to do a lot of the work there. And it's just kind of a slow trudging game at the moment, just because we're both kind of... Lane's got a lot of guns. He's got a lot of artillery. I got the Doomstalkers, which now just seem to get a little bit of respect. And yeah, we'll move over into Lane's turn. Lane's going to score 1 point and start moving his forces.
Okay, so the end of my movement phase, and somehow I lost a model.
Glory to the Overlord. Doomstalker. 5s on Overwatch, 1 CP. Boom.
So Overwatch is kind of a big deal now for certain units, especially these Doomstalkers, because they still get D6 plus 1 shots, and they're hitting on 5s. And they were wounding my poor little speeder on 2s, so it was a perfect target for the Overwatch for them.
Oh, I got lucky. I rolled a 6 and got 7 shots, and that helped a lot too. But yay, Doomstalker kills in the Overwatch.
Yeah, so a couple things we're doing. We're spending a CP to make this kill team using one of my kill team strats that makes them anti-infantry. I think they're the Dragonfire rounds. Or the Hellfire rounds. Makes them anti-infantry 2-up. So we'll be wounding these guys on 2s. Then we also chose in my command phase, something I forgot to do in the first round, is I can choose one of my mission tactics. So I'm choosing Malleus, which means 6s to hit, automatically wound. Hopefully we can pick up some of these Doomstalkers. So I'm going to do some shooting, and then we'll be back. Oh, and also, I use my Watchmaster's ability to make a strat, an extra CP from DJ from now on Overwatch. So next time he tries to Overwatch, it's going to be a 2 CP strat. All right, guys, did some shooting. It didn't get as productive as I wanted it to be. There are still Lich Guard here, which I do not like. There are significantly fewer of them, and they are a super durable unit with their 4-up embalm, their neg 1 to wound, and their 5-up feel no pain. Causing me problems, but there are fewer of them. I'm going to have to see if I can finish them off by charging in this kill team here. There's some Thunderhammers and Power Fists in there. See if we can get them to do some work. Other than that, not a whole lot has happened. The Desolation Marines are not doing a whole lot. At AP2, I've had some bad dice. We've gotten this Doomstalker down to 5 wounds, but that's not really enough to make a difference. He'll heal a few in his turn. So we did move on to an objective here. We're going to see if these Scorpex want to come out and play, see if they want to tangle with some Outriders. But moving on, see if we can make a charge. All right, so the results of all this fighting were I did not get to wipe the unit. I got I got 3 guys with Power Fists.
Lich Guard are beast! And Crypt Thrall! Crypt Thrall is beast.
The captain popped off his extra attacks thing, so he had 8 attacks with a Thunderhammer, and I even had 1 heavy Thunderhammer, the DeathWatch Thunderhammer in there. I just couldn't scrape through him. Of course, DJ did reanimate some guys using the strat that he could use for free.
No, I had to spend it on this that time. I just spent the command points this time because I already used it the previous phase. But I would want to say Lane's dice were trash going into that. But then his saves, when I hit him, were just like, his dice had nothing but a 5 or a 6 on them.
Yeah, so yeah, we're doing all right. I mean, it's a tough unit, so I think we've got it mostly taken care of here. He is battle shocked,
but
he's going to have to take a battle shock test at the beginning of his turn. So he might not be all right. He might have trouble if he wants to fall back. So we'll see what happens. But killed some, but not as many as I wanted to, which would have been the whole unit.
All right. So good thing the Lich Guard survived, so I was able to do a little more reanimating. We'll get over there in a second. So the Scorpex are coming out to play. Scorpec and the Scorpec Lord are moving up, and they're going to make a charge and move on to these guys and charge in the fight phase. Then over here, we're getting our Doomstalkers prepared to take some shots. I did fall back with the Lich Guard here. since they did pass their battle shock, they were able to fall back with ease. And then Lane tried to Overwatch, was able to take the Crypt Thrall out. Oh, actually, no, didn't get the Crypt Thrall out.
I picked
Oh,
the
you
one.
did get the one. You did
the
get
one that was that one wound.
no, yeah, the one that was at 1 wound. Okay. But I was able to do a little bit of reanimating, bring a couple guys back, and then fell back. Did some damage. Scorpack Lord's got 4 wounds left. He moved out, and he's going to try to tussle with some Marines after we do some shooting. Got these Doomstalkers in position. I'm going to put one is going to go right into those Marines that are right there in the middle because I got to reduce them a bit. And then my other 2 Doomstalkers are going to test the Librarian's girth and put some shots downwind at these Desolation Marines because I do not like, they haven't been too successful, those crack missiles. I'd rather not give them the opportunity to. So not a whole lot there. Scarab's moved out to get into position. And yeah, we're just gonna, looks like we're gonna dance. It's time to do some work.
Time to fight.
Yes, it is. All right, so got scary over here. Armor of Contempt and cover, huge. This is, how many did I take? There was 8 left, 8 there, and I killed 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that mostly was the Doomstalkers. That was all 3 Doomstalkers hitting, and the Catacomb Barge did okay, all things considered, but that was mostly these Doomstalkers. And with the Armor of Contempt, the being in cover, man, it was getting scary. I was getting really, really concerned about what was going to be left over there. So that is basically it for shooting. That was the entire shooting phase, was trying to remove those guys because he's currently on that objective, and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. So now we're going to go into some charges and see what we can make happen and actually test these Scorpex over here and see what these guys can do going into some Outriders. All right, so I have to ask Lane because I'm going to be biased about it. What did you think of the Scorpex? Not quite as devastating as last edition, but they still hit relatively hard.
Oh, yeah, I mean, when you have devastating wounds and you're scoring 2 mortals on a swing with those, and just the volume of attacks is pretty big.
Yeah,
if I had a chance to shoot them a little bit, they seem less durable than in the past, but they still hit real hard, okay. Especially in addition where all the general killingness has gone down. You took a lot of wounds off that squad, 3 4-wound bikes and an 8-wound ATV.
Okay.
So that's 20 wounds you scraped off of that.
Okay. So that's
and cool. I had Armor of Contempt on them too.
Yes, so. They did have Armor of Contempt. And then over here, the Scorp Lord actually was the one who basically did all the work. Procced a 6 on his charging damage and did like 5 mortal wounds right there, and then finished off the last Terminator with his claw. And then the Catacomb Command Barge, since it was able to consolidate and get back onto this objective, it was allowed to, since we're not able to make it to a unit. And that's going to be about it. So basically, I just prevented Lane from scoring points, even if his Terminator's unbattle shock over here. The Scorp Lord is objective control 2 versus his 1, so I will technically control the objective at this moment, just so that I don't give up any points right now, because right now it's basically us both just scoring our home objectives at the moment. But I'm on all 3 in the center. We're going to have to see how Lane can respond back in this, going into the bottom of 3 now, is it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, going to the bottom of 3, but here's the scary thing. Right there. Desolation Marines are looking at those Doomstalkers, but now with the Scorps being right in their face, that might change their mind. We'll see what Lane decides to do after his movement phase.
Not a whole lot of exciting movement here. DJ's really whittled down my assets, so these guys just moved up so they can take shots either at the Scorpex down there or someone over here. I chose my 2 Oaths of Moment. I popped my Tome of Ectoclades this turn, so I have 2 Oaths of Moment. One is this here Doomstalker, and one is those Scorpex. I hate them. So my plan this turn... New
edition, old grudges.
My plan this turn is I'm losing this objective. There's just too much over here for me to kill. So these guys are probably going to die. So I'm just going to try to keep this objective here for my points. Then... You know what? I'm going to move the scouts forward.
All right, that's fine.
I mentioned them before. They were within 6 inches of that.
This way I don't just immediately have that objective.
Yeah.
I think I will not. Oh, man. All right, I'm going to think about that for a second while you're doing this. I might actually spend the 2 command points to try and overwatch him with a Doomstalker.
Okay, fun.
Go ahead and finish your.
And that's it. Then these bikes fell back a little bit so as I can shoot at those guys. The Whirlwinds came up to kind of get some redundancy on this objective, but also so they actually get line of sight on the Scorpex and don't take the penalty for hitting. So it's shooting time.
So Lane rushed up, and he was, because the Catacomb Command Barge gives +1 objective control, I am objective control 4 on it. So Lane got his 4 guys on there to be able to contest me, and I did spend the 2 command points to overwatch with the Doomstalker, and was able to pick up exactly 2, so I do control that center now, and we're going to go back over to Lane shooting and see what he can do.
Okay, finally killed these Scorpex through a whole bunch of shooting. This darn friggin' command barge with his
weave.
His enhancement. I did 20 damage to him. He's a 9-wound model, and he still has 1 left because of feel no pains. That's
like 20 physical damage. Like failed saves, total amount was 20 damage.
Yeah. I was like, oh, he's dead. Oh, no, he's not dead. So,
but wait, there's more.
So now we're going to make a charge. We're going to try and split our charge. Basically, DJ is just going to outscore me here because I don't have much left on the table. So I'm just going to do something very dumb and multi-charge these 2 units. See if I can take off the last 4 wounds here and the last 1 wound here. Here we go.
No, my CCB.
So 2 Terminators with Power Fists swung at the Scorpec Lord and failed to do any wounds. DJ didn't even have to take a save. Had 6 attacks with Power Fists, no wounds. My Watchmaster had 6 attacks in the command barge and did no wounds. And then a Space Marine carrying a frag cannon, thanks to Oath of Moment on this command barge, managed to get a wound, get a roll of 1 and 6, and DJ failed both the armor save and the 4-up feel no pain. And the command barge is gone. That was a miraculous turn of events.
One thing real quick, in case people are taking notes on it. Originally, Lane had the Doomstalker as the Oath of Moment, and then we discussed it for the matter of the game and where things were in the points, and switched it over because the Catacomb being on the objective was the more valuable target to be able to remove that thing.
Yeah, I needed to focus on scoring points here as we get in the last couple turns.
Or stopping me from scoring points.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was that turn. Killed some stuff. DJ still got way more assets on the table than me. He's going to shoot me off these objectives. But that's how it goes. All right, guys. That was fun.
And here we go. So, Lane spent a command point and Overwatch with all these Desolation Marines and almost took out the Doomstalker, leaving it with 1 wound remaining.
My mission tactic that I chose in my command phase of my turn was the sustained hits. So each 6 I got to hit counted as 2, or counted as an extra hit. So that's why I was able to get that much damage, even though I was still only hitting on 6s.
Yeah, so it just it netted you ones that you would miss. That was really nice, really close. I reanimated some more Lich Guard. Actually, 1. Exactly 1. And they're going to get ready to charge. Scorpec Lord fell back just because I have other ways to be able to take care of this last squad in here. And my death marks are in range to try to put a shots down here. And his Librarian hurt himself. Librarian's only got 1 wound left. So my death marks might be able to snipe him out and then try to actually pick up these Desolation Marines when they don't have a 4-up invuln. So we'll see what this can do and how much more we can clear off the table right now. All right, so the death marks were able to pick up the Librarian, but didn't get enough shots off of the Doomsdays, the Doomstalkers, rolling back-to-back 1s for these 2 guys in the back. So after that failed, the last Doomstalker was on -1 to hit. Just took out one of these bikes just to try and force that battle shock test. And then over here was to no avail. We're going to have to do it in the combat step to get these guys off the field. So that's pretty much that. We're going to go over and charge and see how these Lich Guard, if these Lich Guard can pick up the last of that squad. All right, so the Lich Guard made quick work of those last couple guys, luckily. And that was really it. That was the only combat step we had this turn. So we're going to go over into Lane's turn, and Lane is going to score. As long as Lane passes a battle shock, he's going to get this additional bonus point here. And we'll see.
We're going to pass that battle shock test.
Oh, we are going to pass that, Lane says. And then we will go over here and see if he can.
Oh, actually, for 1 CP in the end of your fight phase, I'm going to teleport them. Let me just do a quick measurement first. I'm going to teleport my. Make sure that I can. Yep. All right, I'm going to teleport these guys.
You're going to take those guys away?
Yeah, so they're going to jump up, and then they'll come down in the. Yeah, they'll drop back down in.
All right, and that's going to be that. And then we'll go into Lane's movement phase. So he's going to spend the command point to get the bikes out of the way.
All right, these bikes want to get close, and they want to fight.
You can do
this
it.
This Doomstalker's got 1 wound left. We can take that off. No problem. It'll be super easy.
Throw your bikes into it.
So our Oath of Moment this turn is this unit here. Oh, in my command phase, I'm choosing, might as well choose Pergatus. So I will be, any 6s to hit will be precision.
And in his command phase, I'm reanimating more with the Resurrection Orb.
Yeah, I don't like the Resurrection Orb. So the Whirlwinds just came down here so they could actually see these guys and not take penalties. As I said before, I put the Desolation guys into reserve.
I was confused. I thought when you were measuring that you were going to pick these guys up, and I was like, well, why would you do that?
Nope. Nope. I just wanted to get them on that objective so I can see if I can hold 2 objectives and make it come out and fight me for them. So, all right, I'm going to shoot. Let's see if it does anything. All right, shooting didn't really do anything because you can't shoot Lich Guard. I keep making the poor decision to shoot them. So I killed like 3, I guess. I don't know. I put the whole army and all the Desolators into it. So I'm learning a lot about Necrons, and I hate them. On to my charge phase, where the Chaplain's going to charge this thing here. I'm sure he'll get to Overwatch. No, he won't. He can't Overwatch.
I got 1 command point.
Yeah. All right, here we go. All right, the bravest little Chaplain picks up that Doomstalker. Death Stoomy Stalker.
Canoptic Doomstalker.
Chopped his spindly legs right out from under him. And that's it for my turn. All right, going over to DJ.
All right, so we just basically did everything out because this is the point where we're going to be calling the game. So right in here, both of the Canoptic Doomstalkers, who will be going upstairs to get a nice paint job after this game.
Oh, they're strong.
Finished off the Desolation Marines back here. The Scarabs are not able to take the objective marker, so I won't get control of that or even hold it, period. But it doesn't matter because in my turn, I was able to score 3 points. Lich Guard picked up the Chaplain, and Mr. Scorpack Lord is going to just hang out on this objective marker. We measured it out. Even if he advances one of the Whirlwinds, he's not going to be able to get over to another objective to score points, assuming that he would score at the end of the 5th battle round. So that is going to be the game. Lane could take some shots and pick off some guys, but it's not going to change the scoreboard. Lane, what was the final score again?
So this is unusual for one of our scores, one of our games. I scored 5 and DJ won with 7.
So a big 7-5 victory for the Necrons. Thank you guys for watching. We're going to move over to the post game, so we'll talk about some of these armies and what we saw, and we'll hope to catch you guys there.